What have I done? So I bought the mask. I really don't know why I bought this guy, truthfully, but when I saw reviews on him, I couldn't believe the amount of detail this guy had. I mean, true to form, he looks like he just came out from the screen. So I had to buy it. I'm sorry. I had to see for myself whether or not the reviews were true. This is a product made by Dark Toys. I've never bought a figure from them before. This is the first figure I'm going to get from them. Maybe in the future I'll get some more, seeing how this guy turns out. And yeah, truthfully, the mask holds a very weird place in my heart because I did watch the mask in theaters when I was really young, like when I was like 6 or 5, because I was like protesting or something. My other siblings got to watch The Lion King without me, so I'm like, fuck that, I'm gonna watch an adult film. So I watched The Mask, thinking I was rebellious or something. But when I watched the film when I was that young, it was funny, but at the same time I was kind of traumatized as to why this thing exists, as to why this green looking mofo is basically wreaking havoc in this small city. So it was a very mixed emotions when I was young. And also the cartoons during Cartoon Network. You remember those dumb mask cartoons? I used to watch those after school. They weren't really funny, they weren't really entertaining, but you know what? It was part of my childhood. So with that being said, maybe let's take a look at this green psycho. And here he is, the mask himself in all his green and yellow glory. And no joke, this guy looks like he came out from the screen. I can't stress that enough. He has all the elements that he has in the movie. The weird 90s tie, the zoot suit, I think what you call this type of suit. And also, yeah, the amount of detail they put into him is very, very, very substantial. Especially if you see the line on the head where the mask forms and how Ipkiss, pull it off him, it's there, that line. So yeah, it's true to form. They really nailed how this guy looks. I really stay away from movie figures, truthfully. I don't like getting movie figures because there's like certain inconsistencies some companies have on them, but this guy is really, really nice. Unfortunately, one major gripe is the body he comes in, the body under this clothing is that cheap ass Chinese knockoff body, 1/6 scale body. You could feel it's plastic and it doesn't really hold well. I mean, the articulation's a bit junky, so that's one of the drawbacks of this figure. His body is that cheap ass 1/6 scale knockoff figure. But everything else, you know, it covers the body, but it doesn't help him in posability because I'm having a hard time balancing him on this thing because his ankle joints are wobbly, his legs are like wobbly as well, so it's kind of frustrating for me to just make him pose in a simple way. Yeah, so with that being said, let's take a closer look at this psycho. And here's a closer look at the mask himself. And look at that disgusting face. That disgusting detailed face. I love it. I think it's trying to mimic the Mask poster, the movie poster. Unfortunately, that's the only head sculpt you're gonna get with this deluxe set. I wish they came with another one. It does come with another head sculpt, but that's a head sculpt absolutely nobody is gonna put on this figure, truthfully. As you can see, the suit is well fitted to the figure. It's not bulky, it's not like baggy, it's tight. I guess that's the word, it's tight. It's fitted basically. The tie, the 90s pattern tie, the polka dots on the inline of his zoot suit, his shoes, everything is on point with this figure. It's a very, very unique figure, very nice figure. Especially for a third-party figure, this is very, very nicely done. So yeah, he does come with some accessories, quite a bit actually. So let's take a look at them. Dog, hat, feather, clock, money, horn, Mask, mallet, head sculpt, more money, hand, 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 hand. And here's all the stuff he comes with. It's quite a bit. So with that being said, maybe let's take a look at his little dog. So this is Spike. I already forgot what type of dog this is. I don't think it's a Chihuahua. But this is when he wore the mask during that final confrontation and started going apeshit over the gangsters. As you can see, he does have that very 90s animated look. Let's see, yeah, there we go. If the camera's focusing. It's very, very reminiscent of 90s type cartoons with this look. Especially that. Look at all that. Now, from what I understand, the mask is based off of a comic, a very violent comic. But they chose to tone it down for the movies, obviously, because they don't want the mask like blowing people's heads off and stuff like that. But yeah, this is a very nice sculpted piece. A very odd addition to this deluxe, but you know what? I appreciate it nonetheless. So this is Spike when he's wearing the mask. Next we have his mallet. This is when he was trying to kill or destroy that alarm clock in that one scene. Now I remember this movie kind of in depth. I don't know why I remember each scene. I even remember where this thing is where it came from. So this is when he was trying to sneak around the apartment and the alarms try to go apeshit and he's trying to destroy it with this thing. Again, a very weird accessory because it only was shown in that one scene. He doesn't use it again after that. So yeah, it's pretty mundane detail, truthfully. I mean, it didn't add any scuffages or what do you call it, worn detail, but you know, it does the trick. So yeah, this is his mallet. And next, of course, we have the little alarm clock that jumped out of his coat for some reason and started going apeshit. I don't really know why it did that, but I guess it's for comedic effect. Don't really question. There's no point really questioning these things. It's a fucking dumb movie to begin with. But you know, it's detailed nicely. I wish we had the broken version of this, truthfully. Like one version of this and one version of the broken one. But yeah, it's painted nicely, it's sculpted nicely. Yeah. I don't really know how to where to put this guy on him because I really want to put all the accessories on the mask if I can. So yeah, that's the clock. Next we have another weird addition is this horn. This horn he uses to blow the shit out of that car. Squeeze me gently. It's very nicely placed, that sticker, or yeah, it's a sticker. It's very nicely placed. Yeah, another odd inclusion for this deluxe set. I mean, they could have included a lot of other things he uses, but you know, it's a nice, you know, addition. I don't really know which hand can really hold this, truthfully. I tried, but it keeps slipping out. But yeah, this is his little horn thing. And next we have, of course, the money. This is a bag full of money. I'm not gonna take it out because I'm pretty sure I'm gonna lose a good chunk of it. It's like the Joker DX11 money. So yeah, you could have him holding it, or you could just spread it around the base. But yeah, it's nicely detailed. And then we have the mask itself, the magical mask itself. Now I want the mask to hold this, but in truth it doesn't make sense if he's holding this and wearing the mask at the same time. So it's unfortunate that I can't really put this mask on him or him holding it. So there goes a bike. Thank you for ruining this scene. I'm not gonna redo it. Let's keep going. So again, I don't really know where to put this guy on because there's no Ipkiss, is that his name? Ipkiss head sculpt. So having him hold this while he's holding the mask is kind of dumb. But it's a nice detailed mask, truthfully. So yeah, that's his mask. And next we have one annoying addition to this deluxe set, which I really did not like, is this head sculpt, because I don't really know why they included this head sculpt. And as you can see, mine has a little paint damage, but you know what? I'm not gonna use this at all. I'm just gonna stick this in the box and be done with it. I don't really know why they included this. I would really prefer them having another head sculpt of the mask, like maybe him smiling or grinning, or maybe making a funny expression, but this is something I'm not thrilled about. And he does have his own hat as well. This goes on him like so, you know, like that, I guess, and you put the feather on his hat. His hat has a feather? Yeah, so it goes like that. So yeah, this is one head sculpt you could have for the mask, but I'm not gonna really bother with this because it's pointless. It's stupid. I would rather really have another nice head sculpt than that, truthfully. Next, we have his hat. Now, his hat is kind of painted kind of stupidly, truthfully. I'm pretty sure it's painted by hand. As you can see there, it's not really into the seams and there's some paint errors here and there. But it does fit on his head nicely. Now, I don't know if I want to put this on his head long term. I don't know if this will stain his head and leave a yellow mark on his head. So I'm just gonna have him hold it only. And he has a feather. Let's see. He comes with 2 feathers actually. There's one there. They didn't really specify which feather goes in which hat, so I just stick it here. It doesn't really stick well too. Yeah, and I dropped it. Well, you get the picture. So that's his hat. I'm gonna pick up the feather now. True story, this is like the 6th time I've lost this thing because it doesn't really peg into his hat properly, so yeah. Be careful when you're plugging that thing in there. Next we have his hands. So he has basically the 2 same pose hands. These look like nipple squeezing hands. Sorry. So okay, I think this is the horn one, but again, I don't know how to basically put this into his hand without it popping out. So I don't really know what these hands are for. They look like I said, they look like nipple squeezing hands. I don't really know what else to categorize these hand sculpts, truthfully. I don't know what else to use these. Is he picking something up or something like that? I don't know how to use this hand, so I'm just gonna leave it at that. Doop. Doop, doop. And then now we have his pointing finger hand. Basically, it's him pointing, like, you know, you did it. You're the moron, not me. So it's 2 right and left. Basically, you know, him pointing hands. You know, very nicely done. Of course, not Hot Toys quality because there's no like skin texture or speckling in his hand. But it's, you know, it's nice. It does the trick. You don't really focus on the hand when you're seeing the full figure itself. Next, we have his little what are these actually? Are these relaxed hands? I don't know because it's posed weirdly. So I'm just gonna call these relaxed hands. Unfortunately, the mold is kind of sticking together there. It's also, you can see some seam lines. You know, it's a third-party figure, so you don't expect perfection. So I don't mind these little inconsistencies here and there. So you could see here, you could see all 4 fingers, but this one, it's kind of stuck together. So I might need to cut that out, but you know, that's if I use these hands. But I don't really know what these hands are for. Are these like the holding the money hand? Who knows? So that's his hands, his little relaxed, flippy money hands. Doop doop. Now these hands I will use the most, truthfully, because it looks more relaxed than the rest. So you could have him holding his hat here and you could have him holding his tie here, so he's not so static in his pose. And they are nicely configured or posed. But it is, you know, there's some imperfections here and there, if you could see. Not Hot Toys quality, but it's a third party. There's no point nitpicking on these little things. You know, as they go along, these third parties will get better if you keep supporting them. So, because I'm pretty sure Hot Toys is never gonna do the mask figure. You know, there's no money in it for them. So that being said, lastly, his little holding hands. So these is to hold the mallet. Truthfully, that's all these these hands are used for, to hold the mallet basically. There's nothing else you could use these for unless you have a knife or something you want to stick in there. You can't really put a gun in there, but yeah, that's basically what those hands are for. So that's it. With that being said, let's stick all this junk on the mask himself. Wait, I forgot his money bags. He comes with money bags. Now this thing is loaded with cotton. It's basically that scene where he robbed the bank and he's like fucking around in the bank. So yeah, you come with 3. They're fully loaded. They're very big, very chunky, but it's filled. It's like a pillow basically. And yeah, it has the Edge City Savings and Loan where Ipkiss works. Is that his name? Itkiss or Ipkiss? I forgot. And lastly, of course, you have the stand. Yeah, he comes with a stand. Yeah, good job. Whatever. I'm not gonna use this at all. I would rather recycle that plastic to get more accessories, truthfully. So with that being said, I got everything. Let's stick all this junk on the mask. Transition. And here he is, all kitted out with his hat, mallet, and his little spike buddy friend thing. I couldn't realistically put all his accessories on him because he would just look too overloaded and too dumb looking. So I'm just gonna simplify his look. But you know what? I think that's enough because you don't really want to overload this guy because it will detract from his overall, you know, suit, his clothing, his style. You don't want to mess with that too much. So this is him. I have some problems with his hat. It's malformed. It's a bit, if you could see here, it's a bit wavy. I don't know if you could pick that up on camera, but it's a bit wavy. It's not, I think they didn't pack it well, so parts of it is folded upwards, parts of it is folded downwards. But I'm not gonna pose him with the hat because I want him to be bald-headed and glorious in the display cabinet. But yeah, this is him in all his weird, disgusting glory. So you know what? I'm gonna stick the dog head on him and see how he looks. So let's take a look. And here he is with that dumb head sculpt. This is the only pose I could figure out for this particular head sculpt. And you know what? It looks true to form from what you see in the film. But it's a head sculpt I could really do without, and I would rather have another alternate head sculpt for the mask himself. I mean, this was only shown in about 5 seconds of the whole film, and after that you don't see this reaction anymore. So I don't know why they included this. It's sculpted well, it's painted very well. I'm not gonna complain about that. It's just like it's an unnecessary accessory. I could have had a more nicer mask head sculpt, like another alternative mask expression than this, truthfully, or maybe more accessories. Use this plastic that they made for this and make other accessories for it. But yeah, I know, this is what we get, I guess. I mean, cool, but I without a doubt know that absolutely nobody who owns this figure will put this head sculpt on, truthfully, because it's the mask. You don't want to put a dog on this figure because absolutely nobody will recognize it. If you put the mask head on, this head, people will know, like, oh shit, that's the mask. God, look how disgusting that looks. There's the light blowing it out. Sorry, let's see if I can fix that. Dude. Yeah, look at that. Look at that beautiful, disgusting face. So yeah, this is him. With that being said, let's take a close-up of this guy. And here's a final look of the mask himself, and just look at that face. Yeesh. So you could see the tailoring, how it's done, all the sharp graphics on his tie, on his little spandex there, the polka dots inside his zoot suit. I mean, this thing isn't bulky at all. It fits well onto the figure. It hangs well too. You can see he's holding his hat. I'm not gonna put his hat on his head I'm really scared of stainage on the figure of the face sculpt because it might happen, it might not happen, but better be safe than sorry, really. Another unfortunate development happened is, well, it's not really serious, but if you have him posed in, you know, when he has his arm up or something, you will see that peg. There is no way to hide that peg, unfortunately. His sleeves are a bit too short to cover it. So if you have him posing in some dynamic pose, you will see that peg, unfortunately. So it will kind of break the immersion of the whole figure. And he's got his little handkerchief there. So yeah, Dark Toys really did it with this one. I think I'll monitor their next release. I mean, for a third-party company, this was pretty nice. Then you have his little doggy there. So dumb. It's so dumb, I love it. Ooh, focus. There we go. So yeah, for a third-party figure, they did it, and this is something to behold, really. I usually stay away from third-party companies who do movie figures because there are so many inconsistencies they do. But for this one, yeah, they did it very well. No regrets here. I will continue to follow what they're doing. And maybe, you know, it's nice to break away from Hot Toys, truthfully. It's nice to support these third-party companies who do these obscure characters you never thought would be released. And this was a particular weird one. So with that being said, let's stick this Psycho in the shelf. And this is where I'll stick the mask, unfortunately, with the gorillas. Because he's green, he has a yellow shirt, he has a yellow jacket, so the color palette kind of meshes well in this shelf. Until I get another detail, this is where he'll stay. So my final thoughts on this guy is, yeah, get him. No real issues about him except for his body, which is completely annoying. He has that fake 1/6 scale body, so he will feel very plasticky and very, very rickety when you move him around. But other than that, the quality of this guy is, you know, very nice. Very worth it for me. I bought this guy at a whim. He wasn't cheap, truthfully. This guy did cost a bit more than I would pay for a third-party figure, but I think it was worth it because I don't see any faults with his head sculpt, his clothing, his accessories. Yeah, except for the body and maybe that dumb head sculpt, the dog one. Everything else is nice. So yeah, if you have a chance to get this mask, it's from Dark Toys. I'm pretty sure he's running around because I think he's still pretty new in the market, so you could find him easily. I suggest you get him. If you're a fan of the mask, or you're a fan of the mask cartoons, or you're just a fan of 90s culture. Yeah, this is where he will stay. So with that being said, thanks for watching, and go get him.
They call me Cuban Pete. I'm the king of the rumba beat. When I play the maracas, I go chick, chicky, boom, chick, chicky, boom.